Good evening, Bhante and everyone.
Good evening, everyone, Dhamma friends.
Good evening, Bhante and everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bhante, and everybody, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we'll take a minute of time to get started.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Sisters.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bhante and everyone.
Day.
Good evening. All right, so shall we get started? Our online Pali reading class by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Right. Welcome everyone to the online Pali reading class day 42. At the same time, as you know, we have started off Dhammapada stanzas from last week. Dhammapada, for those people who were not able to join last Thursday, I wanted to give a few details about Dhammapada. Dhammapada is a book which is collected from suttas themselves. It's not a new, place to look at stanzas, but you see that these stanzas are coming from different places of the Sutta Pitaka, Diga, Majjhima, Samyutta, Anguttara, these Nikayas. But when the stanzas are scattered everywhere in the suttas, it's a bit difficult to understand the context of the stanza. So you have to go read this sutta, you have to go read that sutta. So you have to read at least many suttas to understand many Pali stanzas. So that's why there is a separate collection which is called as Dhammapada. So by reading Dhammapada, a little bit of Dhammapada stanzas, you will be able to understand more of the context of the Dhamma. So that's why we have chosen Dhammapada, and at the same time, it is the next book after Buddhaka Pada, the Buddhaka Nikaya. So it's very proper to study. In addition to that, we discussed about the first two stanzas last Thursday. The first chapter, Yamakavaga, we call it, this chapter is called, some people translate this chapter as Yamaka, Y-A-M-A-K, Yamaka. They mean to say pairs. Pairs. That means you cannot study one stanza without the other stanza. Pairs. Right? It's like that. You are trying to understand a bad person in the first place. You want to compare to a good person all the time. Bad person, good person, and then the lesson. So anyways, this is one way to understand Dhamma. The first two stanzas are about the mind. The mind is proceeding to experiences and everything in our life. Right? And today we are going to study verse number 3 and 4. These two stanzas are pretty same like the first two, but there are a lot of things to learn from these two stanzas too. I mean, it is very easy for us to understand what you call the Pali here, because most of the lines are same, but they have a different carrying at certain places. Right, the first one. That means Dhammapada stanza number 3. Let me read. Akochi mang, avadhi mang, ajini mang, ahasime, ye chatang upanaihanti verang tesang na sammati. Akkochi mang avadhi mang ajini mang ahasi ye cha tang upanaihanti verang tesang na sammati. So this is the stanza. So we'll be asking groups to read. Group 1. Yeah, anybody from group 1? Sister Annie, are you from group 1?
Yeah.
Who will be reading? Is it Annie or?
Let Sister Anne read first. I'll do at
Okay.
the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Bhante, just confirm with you. Yeche tang upanayanti or
Upanaihanti.
naihanti?
H is there.
Okay,
Yes.
I try. Akochi mang avedi mang ajini mang ahasime. Yeche tang upanayanti verang tesang nasamati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Group 2. Someone from group 2. Yes, Meoy, please.
Akochi mam awadi mam. Ajini mam ahasi me. Ye che tam upa na yanti. Veram tesam na samati.
Okay, great. And
Thank
group
you.
3. Someone from group 3. Yes, Chupin, please.
Akoche mang awadi mang. Ajini mang ahasime. Yeche tang upannayanti verang tesang na samati.
Okay, good.
Thank
And
you,
then
Bhante.
KP on. Yes, group 4. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Akochi mang avadi mang. Ajini mang ahasime. Yecha tang upane hanti.
Upannayanti
Verante sang ne sammati.
Ye Chatang.
Yecha tang upane hanti.
Upanaihanti.
Oh, upanai hanti. Okay.
Upanaihanti. Yeah.
Upanai hanti.
But yeah, the rest is okay. Yes.
Thank you.
And yes. Group 4, group 5. Yes, Melinda, please.
Bhante, I try. Thank you.
Yes.
Akochi mang, awadi mang, ajini mang, ahasi me, yeche tam, upanai hanti, veram tesam na sammati. Thank
Great.
you. Thank you.
And group 6. Someone from group 6. Group 7. Not group 8. Last group. Yes, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Akochi mam abadi mam. Ajini mam ahasime. Ye chetam upanai hanti. Veram tesam na samati.
Sammati.
Sammati.
Sammati. Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. And others? Giving the chance to others. Okay, we'll start from Annie, Mr. Chance first, and then
Okay.
we'll go to the Kim after that.
Yes,
Annie,
Bhante.
please.
Right. Akochi mang avadi mang. Ajini mang ahasi me. Ye chetang upane yanti. Virang te sani sammati.
Yeah, could you go again for the last two lines?
Ye chetang upane yanti. Verang te sang na samati.
Some. Okay, good. All right,
Thank you,
start
Bhante.
with Kim. Yes, go ahead. Kim.
Akochi mang avadi mang. Ajini mang ahasi me. Ye che tang upanye hanti. Verang tesang na samati.
Yeah, this Pali word. Please again. Yes.
Hanti. Ye che tang upanye hanti.
Upanai.
Panay hanti.
Upanai. Yes.
Panay
So-
hanti.
Yeah. So because this is not what you call why at this place. Call it Upanaihan. Upanaihan.
Okay.
Great. Yes. Thank you, Kim. And then Oi. Yes. Let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Kochi mang, awadi mang, ajini mang, ahasi me, ye chentang, upanai hanti, verang pisang, na samati.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
And Uchuang.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Akochi mang avedi mang. Ajini mang ahasime. Ye chatang upanahanti. Verang tesang nasamati.
Ye chatang.
Ye chatang upanahanti.
Upanaihan. Okay, good.
Upanahanti. Thank
Yes,
you,
and then we
Bhante.
have yes, we have Chan. Yeah, Chan, please. I think we don't hear you for some reasons.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Ako chimang mang ahasime. Ye chatang upanak isang na samati. Can you hear me? Can you hear?
I think I didn't hear the last part. Ye chatang upanaihanti.
Oh. Shall I hello, shall I repeat?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of
Kochi
internet connection. Ye chatang
Yeah,
upanaihanti. Verang
Ye
tesang
Ye chatang isang na
sammati. Okay, good.
samati. Thank
All
you.
right. And we have Christine. Yes, Christine, please go ahead. We can't hear you. Yeah, please unmute.
Okay.
Ah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay. Akochi mang awadi mang. Ajini mang ahasime. Ye tang upaneyanti.
Upanaihanti.
Upanayan. Verang tesang na samati.
Some. Okay, great. All right. Yes.
Thank
Any others who would like to read the stanza? Thanks. Any others? Yes, please, Suzanne, go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Akochi mam, avadi mam, ajini mam, ahasime, ye chatang, upani panti, viram, tesam na samati.
Ye chatang.
Avedi mam,
No, here, the third line. Ye chatang.
ye chatam, upanai hanti.
Upanaihanti.
Upanai hanti.
I will tell you why and how it is like this later. Upanaihanti.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Yon,
Thank
please. Yes.
Bhante, I try.
Yes.
Akuchi mang, awati mang, ajini mang, ahasi mi. ye che tam upa nai hanti virang de sang na sam mati.
Veram tesam na sammati.
Virang de sang na sam mati.
Sammati.
Sammati.
Sammati. Great.
Sam.
Any others?
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. So if not, we are going to read the same stanza, but there are some changes. So we'll go to the stanza number 4. That means today's second one. Akkochi mang avadhi mang ajini mang ahasime. Same 2 lines. But these 2 lines, last 2 lines have a change. Ye cha tang na upanai hanti. Veram te supa sammati. Veram te supa sammati. Akkochi, actually it has to be akkochi. There's a, what you call, like a breathing sound, breathing kind of a tone. Akkochi, not akkochi, akkochi mang, avadhi mang, ajini mang, ahasi. Ye cha tang na upanai hanti. Verang te supa sammati. All right, so we'll ask from groups. Group 1.
Bhante, I try any.
Yes, please.
Ako chimang avadimang ajinimang ahasime ye chetang na upaneyanti verang te su pasamati.
Verang te supa sammati.
Sammati. Verang
Okay.
te su pasamati.
Sammati. Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 2. Yes, Kim, please.
Akkochi mang avadi mang. Ajini mang ahasime. Ye chetang na upanai hanti. Virang tesu pa sammati.
Te supa sammati. Okay, good.
Tesu sammati.
Great. And group 3. Group 3. And group 4. Rashmi, are you from group 3? Please go ahead.
No, Bhante, I'm from group 4.
Group 4. All
Yeah,
right. So
may I read?
we have 2 over here. Kebion, would you like to read or would you like to?
I can go later, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Please, Rashmi.
Okay. Akkochimang avadhimang ajinimang ahasime ye chatang nupanaihanti verang te supa sammati.
Could you go again for the third line?
Ye chatang nupanaihanti.
I think you are reading a different variant, I think.
Yes.
Na upanaihanti. So you are reading the combined version, you know. We call it combined. Combined means in Pali we call it sandhi. Sandhi. This is actually used by some text. But here you see it is decombined. Na upanaihanti. Nupanai. But it's okay. Ye chatang na upanaihanti. Oh, nupanaihanti. And then the last one, Veram.
Verang te supa sammati.
Okay, great. And group 5. Yes, Melinda, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Akkochi mang avadi mang ajini mang ahasime yeche tang ne upanai hanti veram te supa sammati.
Okay, good. And
Thank
group
you.
6. Group 6. Group 7. Yes, NG, yeah, NG, please. We can't hear NG for some reasons. No, not yet.
She has to unmute.
Yes, I think it should be okay now. Please go ahead. No, I don't think it's still okay. Okay, so we will keep going, and then in case you can make it happen, we'll ask you to read later. Okay, group 7, group 8, last group. Yes, Doris, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Ako cimam avadimam. Ajinimam ahasime. Ye cetang ne upanai hanti. Veram te super sammati.
Vera te super sammati.
Veram te super sammati.
The super sammati.
Te super sammati.
There's a long U. There are two U's, huh? This U and this U. Te super sammati.
Te super sammati.
Okay,
thank
great.
you.
All right, so I'm going to be giving the chance to others. So we'll start with KB on, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Ako cimang avadimang. Ajinimang ahasime. Ye cetang ne upanai hanti. Vera te supa sammati.
Great. And Owen?
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Ako cimang awadimang. Ajinimang ahasime. Ye cetang na upanai hanti.
Cimam avadimang.
Verang
ahasime. Ye cetang ne upanai hanti.
Verang te supa samati.
Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
All right. I think somebody has a loudspeaker, so we picked up on the other side. Okay. Then Pucho on. Yes. Yes.
Bhante, you mentioned my name. You call my name, right, Bhante?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, because I don't hear very well. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ako cimang avadimang. Ajini mang ahasime. Ye cetang no upanai anti. Verang te super sammati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Then we have Ansu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Ako cimang avadimang. Ajinimang ahasime. Ye cetang ne upanai hanti. Verang te su pesammati.
Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. And we have Chan. Yes, Chan, please unmute. Yes. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, okay. With some trouble, with some hassle in the internet, but I could still hear. Anyways, thank you. All right. Yes, Exim, please go ahead.
Evening, Bhante.
Yes.
Ako cimam avadimam. Ajinimam ahasime.
Ye chatam na upane hanti. Veram tesu pasam mati.
Ye chatam na.
Ye chatam na upane hanti.
Are you saying upanai hanti or upanai hanti?
Sorry, Subhi. Upanai hanti.
Upanai hanti. Because
Upanai
if you say
hanti.
upanai hanti, it has to be in E.
Oh, okay.
In E here. It's in A.
Nai hanti.
Ye chatam upanai hanti.
Ye chatam ne na upanai hanti. Upanai
Upanai
hanti.
hanti. Veram
Upanai.
te super sam. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
And yes, and we have Susan.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Kochimam, avadimam, ajinimam, ahasime, ye chatam na upanihanti, viram, tesu pasamati.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Like everybody to read? Possible? All right. So let's go to the explanation part now. So the two verses look very same, unless you see the third and fourth lines of the both the stanzas. Now, what does these two stanzas talk about? Especially the first part, first two lines of the both stanzas. Akochi, Avadi, Ajini, Ahasi. Akochi, Avadi, Ajini, Ahasi. What are these things? What is that? I mean, what do you think about these four? These are the ways other people, the what do you call evil people, maybe Sapurisa, maybe people who are doing apusalas can attack you. These are the ways how they attack you, right? So, if you have had any bad experience with somebody, all those experiences are forms of these four. Either maybe Akkochi, maybe an Avadi, maybe a Ajini, maybe a Hasi. These are the things that you gone in that particular experience, right? So today, basically, or simply speaking, we are learning how to understand someone's bad behavior towards us. Is it very important to understand that? Because when we don't understand, if there is somebody who is mean to us, we are going to react to that person in the same way. That is going to be an un-Buddhist thing. Right? Like, you know, an ancient way, if you break my tooth, I'm going to break your tooth. If you cut my ears, I'm going to cut your ears. This is kind of a very ancient, I mean, I don't want to say religious based kind of a teaching. Even the Jesus Christ saying this is bad. What you call the Jewish society has to be understood in this way. I'm telling you, not that you're going to do the same thing. That there is somebody who is mean to you and you're going to be mean to that person the same. Our wild nature of our brain is that we're going to do the same thing to that person. If you don't talk to me, why do I talk to you? Isn't it? If you don't look at me, why do I want to look at you? If you don't come to my house, why do I have to go to your house? I think this is a big issue. It's not a simple issue because people have been doing this to some people in their life. So it is important to understand the ill treatment of somebody towards you and what to do when that happens to us, what to do as a Buddhist. This is what we are going to learn. Going beyond those Pali terms and these, you know, all that. Okay, let's learn these Pali words. Huh? Let me tell you first, all these verbs have taken the past form of in Pali. This is not the present tense of these verbs. Okay, let's understand present form. I'm not actually, I told you at the beginning of our class, I'm not going to teach you Pali directly, but there are certain places that you may need to know a little bit of Pali. I have to teach you those places. Very simple, not like Pali grammar. That is not what you are going to learn. That is what I said in June last year. I'm not gonna teach you Pali grammar, right? Not like a normal Pali grammar class. Okay. Akkochi, Avadi, Ajini, Ahasi. What are they? The ways, the bad ways, maybe the ways how somebody is going to be bad to you. All these things that other people do to, I would say, ill-treat you, come under these four. Akkochi. Okay. This is the past form. We call it abuse. Another word is blame, maybe abuse you, revile you. The present form of this word akkochi is akkosati. Akkosati. All right? Or akkosati. Akkosati means someone who is going to blame you. Thereby, that person is going to bully you, abuse you. Does this happen in your lives time to time? It can happen to anyone. Right? Even to the Buddha. It happened to the Buddha. Right? Even when you go get a service from a place, sometimes those people are good people. Sometimes they think you are troublemakers to them. They are supposed to serve you, but they think you are troublemakers. And they're going to be mean to you after that. Right? So this can happen to anybody. So that means we should not always expect good treatment wherever we go. There are people who may be treating you in their, like those people who said by the Buddha, like Dana people. There are three types of Dana people. The first Dana person is Dana Dasa. Dana Dasa means someone who is offering, giving things to you in the way that person eats and drinks. Not any lower, not any higher. But you can see that he or she could have done better. But he or she always says, oh, no, I don't want to give anything higher than how I eat, higher than how I drink, higher than how I consume. Right? This is called Dana Dasa. Right? And there is somebody called Dana Sahayaka. Actually, Dana Dasa means someone who is giving lower than that person. Dana Sahayaka means the one who is giving at the same, in the same. That means there's someone who is giving lower than that person eat and drink. So the connection to this particular Pali term, akkosa, means that there is someone who's trying to ill-treat you, who's trying to treat you poorly, maybe is trying to blame you, insult you, right? Akkosati. So the Pali, what you call the present form is akkosati, but when it comes to the aorist form, this is one past tense form in Pali for the aorist. Akkochi, somebody abused me, bullied me, I would say criticized me, insulted me. What is the immediate feeling that comes to your mind when this comes to your mind? Somebody bullied me in my past. What is the immediate feeling? So bad, I should not have gone through that experience. Maybe if I were raised by some other parents, I could have been taken care by them. Maybe if I had not gone to that place, if I had known some knowledge about certain things, I could have been safe. So you naturally develop an anger towards that person. Maybe that person may have passed away already, but still you are very angry about it. You see, some animals, it is said that some cobras in some countries, when they stung somebody, when they are so mad about that person, they go to the tombstone of the person who passed away, also try to bite that place. So angry about that person. It happens, right? Even some humans do the same, right? Even some humans are so angry about it. When they are, when they are so angry about certain people. So akosati means insult, maybe bullying, maybe abuse, that kind of stuff. So somebody might think that someone did this to me in my life. Definitely, we all may have had different experiences, more or less. So you can think about that. Akosati, one of the major forms of ill treatment. Then avadi. Avadi means, okay, let's see the Pali, the present form. Vadhati. What is it? Vadhati is the present form. That means vadhati, vadhati. Vadhati means someone attacks. Maybe it's very cruel towards you. Right? Avadi. Right? Now the Pali word is vadha. Vadha is the Pali term. Have you ever heard this Pali word somewhere else? Vadha. Vadha. In the Chulakama Vibhanga Sutta Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha says there are people who always complain about their health. They always complain about what they are going through. I have a back pain, knee pain, I have this, I have to take these medications, I have to eat like this, I want to eat, but I cannot eat, right? And then I'm struggling a lot. But there are other people who are not, they are very healthy but they don't have to complain, right? Maybe they complain about their health, good health. But anyways, they are not saying anything about it. So they are not that sick compared to those people. Why is it? Then the Buddha says, the people who always have health issues may have been cruel to others in past lives by hitting them, by torturing them, with weapons, with sticks, rods, and all this stuff. That's why they are now going through this pain. Could be. Maybe not. But mostly it could be. Think about Mahamoggalla, Arahan Mahamoggalla. What happened to him? He could have not escaped from the karma, even he became an Arahan. Right? He had to undergo. Even the Buddha, he could not go beyond the karma, past karma, not the present karma. Present karma and future karma, they're going to be mostly null and void. That's why karma is very dangerous sometimes. It's very dangerous, It's like the nature. Nature is sometimes very horrible. How animals eat other animals, attack other animals, how they eat alive. It's very horrible and terrible. But we only see a fraction of the nature. See the nature. It's so beautiful. Spectacular. You go to different places. But if you really want to know the whole nature, it's very horrible. Very terrible. Right? So here, the Pali word vadati is being used by the Buddha in the place where he wanted to explain about why some people are going through pain all the time, physical pain, because they have physically tortured other people. Remember Edgar Casey's researchers, a long-time researcher, written by Jinnah Seminara's Many Mansions, very old book, probably written in 70s. Jinnah Seminara mentions about some of the researchers about Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey hypnotized certain people who had chronic pain. And he hypnotized one woman who had a long back pain, chronic back pain. So what he does is he's hypnotizing her back to her many lives. And he stopped in one life in 1400, in 14th century in Austria, where certain kings set lions to eat humans alive, and they are watching in the stadium. They are happy watching how lions go eat humans alive, and it's kind of a fun game at that time. And this woman was in the audience at that time. She didn't know anything. She was enjoying how lions eating humans alive, how they are going to tear their back, tear the human's back. She was enjoying by looking at it. Because of that enjoying, secretly in her mind, now she's going through the chronic back pain. All these have some reasons. She was, there are very nice stories like in that book, Jina Seminars, many. It's a very old book, 70s book, but nice things to learn. So, vadati means somebody is going to torture someone. Now here, you may have been tortured by others in your past, this life, maybe at the beginning, maybe somewhere, maybe in your relationship, maybe before, right? Bullying, abuse, or whatever, maybe at workplace, wherever. Sometimes you may have been bullied mentally, emotionally, not physically. Physically, all are good around you, but they are torturing you at different times, giving you a very big time, hard time. It's also kind of an attack. So all these attacks go under avadhi, which is the past form of vadhati. Vadhati and became avadhi. Akkosati became akkochi. So insulting and then attacking. Somebody attacked me. Somebody abused me. Insulted me. Somebody attacked me. Mang means me. Mang means me. Then ajini and ahas. Ajini means, what's the present form? Jinati. Jinati. This is a very famous Pali word. Jinati. Jinati. Have you ever found this Pali term? Mara tireka mabiyuch jita sabbarat. Mahamangalaga. Jita. Jaya Mangalaga. And then, what are the other places where you find the Pali word Jinati? Jinati? Sabbadanan, Dhammadanam, Jinati. Out of all the danas, giving Dhamma is the best. Because when you give Dhamma to somebody, teach Dhamma, that person dispels the darkness of his or her life and then going to practicing Dhamma. Jinati. And then Sabbadanam Dhammadanam Jinati. Sabbarasang Dhamrasang Jinati. Out of all the tastes, you may be having a very good taste, tasting in your life, but the taste of the Dhamma is the highest of all the tastes. Have you ever heard that? You may have a very picky taste. You want to eat this food, this restaurant, that thing. Sometimes you've been waiting many years to eat a certain food, certain food, to go to a certain place. But the Buddha says, the happy taste of the Dhamma. That means Dhamma is not a food to eat. Dhamma is not a drink to drink. But the taste that you are having by understanding, learning, understanding, practicing, application, applying, will become kind of a taste. So Jina means victory. We call win, actually, triumph. Right? So here, Ajini, that means defeating. There are many people in this society who would like to defeat you, who would like to beat you. Have you ever been beaten by others in a way that they want to beat you down? Not that you were beaten. You were beaten in a different way. In this society, victory or loss can seem to be very daunting words, states of mind. That's why the Buddha said in one other Dhammapada stanza, Jayang Verang Pasavati, Dukkhang Seti Parajito, Upasanto Sukhang Seti, Hitwa Jaya Parajaya. Jayang Verang, what he says is very interesting. Jayang Verang Pasavati. When someone is going to win out of anything, that person creates a certain hatred toward the defeated one. Is this happening? When you see some big matches, when one group is winning and they have their own audience, fans, and they're going to attack the people who were defeated. Right? You see in very big matches everywhere. And then, Dukkhang Seti Parajito. The people who are getting lost are developing lots of suffering, lots of pain. How come I did lose this game to these people? I shouldn't have never lost my game to these people. Yeah, they're talented, right? This could be a match. This could be even a competition. So even a beauty competition. How come I lost to her? How come I lost to him? Right? This could be anything. And then the Buddha says, upasanto sukang seti. Happiness comes from, not from victory or the loss. Upasanto sukang seti hitva jaya parajaya. The person who is understanding Dhamma is going to give up victory and loss. Victory and loss, these are two stumbling points in our life. So we are very stuck. I mean, let's say you have to probably involve in these things, but in your mind, you should develop something that I'm not thinking that I should always win. I just do my best, but victory and loss, they are not in my life in that sense. So there are people who are trying to beat us in different ways, who are trying to defeat us. Sometimes you are doing very well, other people getting lost. What to do for them? That's a different thing. But there are people who are trying to defeat you. Are there people who are trying to defeat you in Dhamma? That I practice more Dhamma than you, I know better than you. Are there such people in us, among us? I don't think. If there is somebody like that, that person is not practicing Dhamma. He's going to be a mere knowledgeable person about Dhamma. The real Dhamma is far away for those people. Far away. Very, very far. They are not even in the neighborhood of Dhamma. Just a knowledge. Just like a scholar, right? Just like a mere scholar. That's why now there is a conversation going on. Scholarly practitioner. Scholars also want to practice. Called scholarly practitioner. Dhamma is not a knowledge on how to practice. So there are people who try to defeat us. And then maybe they defeat us with some malicious thoughts. This is the problem. Sometimes you have to be on a competition. But what if the people who are on the other side of the competition is going to win just to put you down, just to feel you bad? That is going to be a problem. Now, in the penal court, even a judge cannot sentence anybody with malicious thoughts, saying that I'm going to send you to the death penalty. A judge even cannot do it with malicious thought. He has to follow the rules in the penal court, in the jurisprudence. So in the same way, we understand that there may be competitions. There may be certain ways of things happening among us. But we should not engage in those things just to put somebody down, just to beat somebody down, just to defeat someone. Right? That is but there are people who still do that because they are not really into the Dhamma. And ahasime, there is also a present form of this word. We call it, what is it called? Harati. Harati. There shouldn't be spaces because of my writing. Okay. Harati. Harati means to take away. You can ask from restaurants, are you Harati or are you take away stuff? Harati means take away. Now, the past form of Harati is ahasi. That means somebody has taken away your stuff. Somebody has, that means robbed yourself. Somebody has fraudulently taken your stuff. How do we understand that? Maybe somebody stole your money. Somebody took some commissions from you that you're not supposed to pay. Somebody did a service that should not have charged that much. You feel that you are being swindled, cheated by somebody, taken your stuff away, taken your money, taken your sacrifice, taken your commitment away. These things can happen. Can we minimize these things? Can we? Can we minimize the bad treatment, maltreatment somebody is doing to us? Yes, we can. But we may not be able to fully get rid of it. Sometimes these people are in our family, in our workplace. So we cannot fully get rid of them. But we can do certain things to minimize their effect on us. Now, one thing is to be surrounded by Kalyana Mitra. So you have the safety on that side. And then, now let's go back and see the words again. Akochi. Maybe there may be people like that, but you are trying to respond to them in the proper way, not getting in a way that you are going to do the same thing. And there are people who are trying to attack you, are trying to make yourself safe, not become a part of those events surrounding. And then Ajini, you can get rid of it in a way that you are not associating people who are always trying to defeat you, who are always trying to race you, who are always trying to say that I'm going to compete you, I'm going to do this. Those are people who are not really kind to us in a way. They are having different thoughts. So these, there are things you can do to these types of bad treatment, but still this thing can happen. If this thing can happen to you, do not worry, because there is something you're gonna do even after it happened. Let's see what you can do. Now, these mistreatments have been happening to you. What can you do? This is the way how an unwise person handles this issue. The first stanza. This is the way how a wise person handles the situation. Right? Ye chatang upanaihan. This Pali word is very interesting. Upanaihan. Now the bad treatment has happened. Somebody has been very mean to you. Somebody has taken advantage of you. Somebody has been very rude to you. When this is happening, what is happening to someone? Most people who have not trained their thoughts. I don't call them bad people. Many of the people in this society, everywhere, they are not training their thoughts. When you are training your thoughts, or when you are training any activity, you are good to respond. So people who are not trained enough, they are getting ready to reply to those people in the same way. So they are trying to do certain things. They are going to validate, rationalize, and validate the thing. Always in the morning to evening, thinking, see, they did this to me, I have to respond to them in the same way. So they are trying to validate everything, validate that I have a validated, justified anger, and I have to hit back. So Upanaihanti means those people who are not training their thoughts, they are getting ready to hit back. That is called Upanaihanti. Let me ask you, who are the people, who are the individuals, who are the beings who are immediately going to hit back to these treatments? Tell me. Immediately. Don't call that this is your neighbor. Huh? Animals, they don't think about, they don't think twice. They're gonna hit back. If you do something wrong to them, they're gonna hit back. They're gonna bite you, they're gonna sting you. They're going to attack you, definitely, for sure. I know some elephants, if you do a wrong thing, the elephants can keep that in mind for many years, even 30 over years. Even if you are in among 1,000 people, elephant can find out you and going to hit back. Be careful. Animals are keeping that, right? That's why when you become an animal, you have no dhamma, no guarantee about it. So initially, they are animals, so they have a valid reason to be so. So most animals, so they are trying to keep that, hit back. How about humans? Are humans also like this? Are humans also trying to hit back? They might take time. Some of the very worst people, humans, they're trying to respond at the same time. They're trying to speak up. They're trying to hit back at the same time. But there are humans who are very patient. Right? We talked about patience that day, right? Trying to be very patient, try to understand, okay, I'm not going to say anything today. I have to be careful. I should not speak any word today. It's a struggle. It's a very big struggle. But that person is trying to make sure that I'm not going to be driven by this person's talking. I let him or let her talk whatever he or she wants to talk. But if you're going to say whatever you say, I don't care, that person will double, triple, quadruple of that treatment. Don't say anything to that person in words. Don't tell how important is your patient to other people. Do many people do that? When someone is so bad to them, are they trying to vocal about their patients? You know what? Whatever you tell me now, I am patient. Then that person is becoming more mean to you, more rude to you. Because he wants to say that, see, my treatment is worse than your patient. Like the Kantivadi Jataka story, where the Bodhisattva's whole body was amputated by the Kalabu king. The Kalabu king, when Kalabu king went outside, Bodhisattva, Shakyamuni Buddha's Bodhisattva, he came to the palace and he started giving a Dhamma talk to king's pork veins. And he was talking about patience. According to the story, the king came, Kalabu king came, and then he asked his royal people to cut his hands, amputate, and then ask him, are you still patient? Yes. Then he cut everything. Finally, he kicked him actually with his foot, and he passed away. That is how the Bodhisattva practice patience. I mean, that's kind of a very extreme patience. But the idea here is that we have to understand how are normal people taking the maltreatment, mistreatment of somebody. They are, once it happens to them, they are trying to organize their thoughts, validate, approve every day that one day I have to hit back. I have to respond. This is a un-Buddhist thinking. If that happens to you in the past, now you can understand that is an un-Buddhist way to respond. But there may be certain things you may have to do. You can't be a person who let other people to take advantage of you. Are you? I don't think so. You are going somewhere, you are letting other people, hey, attack me, I'm okay. You are trying to make sure that you are safe, but still there are people who are trying to hurt you in different ways. So I'm talking about those moments. So Upanaihanti means carrying forward of that particular anger towards those people. Maybe bringing forward, carrying forward by rationalizing that it is proper to attack them back. It is proper to do the same thing back. Remember that now in this Dhammapada, there is a separate chapter called Kodavagga, chapter on anger. In one of the stanzas, the story is very interesting. In that story, there is a female deva who just got a baby. And then she was a tree spirit, not a very high deva. We call him Rukkha Deva. She was living probably a couple miles away from Jetavanara. So one day, one monk wanted to make a kuti. At that time, monks don't have dayakas. Huh? So these different monks have their dayakas. So he wanted to make his own kuti. So he grabbed an axe and he was going to cut the tree. Now this tree was belonged to this Rukkha Devata, the female Deva. And she was very upset about it. And then somehow, when she was coming to descend from the tree, I think one of her hands was actually cut by this axe. She was very mad and she had a baby. And she was thinking to do something wrong to the monk, but she stopped doing that. And then she went to the Jetavanaram and told the Buddha, Bhante, there is a monk who is cutting my tree. I had lots of anger. I wanted to do something. If I did something, he would have died. But I didn't do it. Then the Buddha said, you did the right thing. Then he said the Pali stanza, Yo ve uppatitang kodan ratang bhantang vadare tamahang sarating bhumi rasmigabo itaroja. When there is an uprising anger in someone, like you had the upright, now your anger is, your anger is very much. But when you have the anger, but if you know that you are angry and you are doing the necessary things, you are the best. It is like when there is a cart driven by cows or buffaloes, and there is a certain place the cart is going very fast. The driver, charioteer, wants to stop the cart, and then if the driver, charioteer, is a good driver, he could stop it in time. But if you are not a good driver, you are just holding the reins and you cannot stop it in time. That in the same way, anger, we can be angry, but the important thing is how to stop it when we want. But for most people, when they are getting angry, they are not able to stop it when they want. Anger will stop it when anger wants to stop, isn't it? Not that you want to stop. So the Buddha says here that Koda has to be stopped. I mean, Koda might appear, but it has to be stopped with your own self-understanding. So here, once again, Upanaihanti means do not rationalize your the harm that other people did to you. Forget about changing other people. Sometimes we cannot change other people. Can we? Can we change other people, the bad people? We cannot sometimes. And we don't want to. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time because we don't have lots of time to do all these things. Right? Sometimes if we think we can do a thing, we will do, but quite often we are not able to do anything else. Rather, we are going to save us from these problems. So Upanaihanti means somebody who is not having this understanding, trying to validate, trying to rationalize, trying to justify that person's anger towards the people who harm that particular person. Then what will happen? Verante sangasam. Those people's hatred does not. Veram means hatred. Tesam means their hatred. Now, sammati. Sammati means pacified. A good translation could be pacified. There is no pacification. Right? Even Arahan Bomba cannot blow out, extinguish in your country. It's a big fire. Nobody can stop it when that anger is in full bloom. Even the fire brigade cannot stop it if that anger rises. That's why we have to do certain mechanism to understand this. So our what do you call hatred? I think most of the things in our life about hatred that come from our understanding about how we understand about how other people treated us in the past in regard to relatives, friends, and others. Now, in one sutta, I can't remember the exact name, Agatha Sutta, somewhere in Anguttara Nikaya, there are people who come to the resentment. Resentment is a form of anger because they validate a couple of things. One thing is that he or she thinks always, I have to be resentful because the people who supposed to help me did not help me at all. So I had to be resentful towards them. They could have helped me, but they did not help me. And there are other people who are thinking that, yes, my people, my friends, my family, those people, they helped me, but not enough. The help was not enough, so I had to be resentful. Third way of having resentment is that my friends, my family, they help me, but they also help my enemy. So I'm very resentful towards my friends and families. Interesting. So one thing is they didn't help me, or they did help me, but not enough, or they did help me, but they also help my enemies. So people are developing resentment. So who are these people? People who have not trained their thoughts. We have to train our thoughts, not only in a retreat type setting. We might go and fine tune our thoughts, This is a 24/7, 365 off the cushion program. Off the cushion program, not only the on the cushion program. Yes, we may have to go for an on the cushion program time to time, but the real meditation happens off the cushion. That is where we're going to look at. That is where we are trying to work on. The programs we study in a vihara, maybe a retreat, maybe a novitiate program, maybe an 8 precept program, even maybe a Dhamma talk, even our OPRC program. We've been doing for 42 days now, almost. Going to be 1 year by this June, July. The true benefits will come to somebody who are trying to put these teachings into their daily life. Not into 2 hours, 3 hours program, not into 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 7 day, 14 day, 1 month program. So they are very happy because they know that something is happening in my life. Transformation happens. Miracles happen because I'm practicing, right? So this is the idea here. For those people who are not trained enough in their thoughts, they are going back to their hatred. They are going to treat the people who are bad to them in the same way. Like Ajini, they're also going to defeat, they're also going to here. They're also going to insult, abuse. They're also going to attack. They're also going to defeat. They're also going to rob, take away. So anger is going here and there. Do you know there are people who carry anger into next lives? There are many people who are carrying anger to the next life. The next stanza is about that. We will be talking about the next one, not today's two. The next one that is coming next week. It's about how does someone carry anger to the next life. We normally know we can carry forward balance. We can prorate the stuff in banks, but if somebody is going to prorate anger, carrying forward anger here and there, even to the next life, there are people who are doing that. I remember there was a dog long time ago in one house that I know. He's always inside the house. And there was another dog in another place. Every time he got a chance to go out, he's going to attack the other dog. He cannot even go in a couple months. He had lots of anger about the other dog who had done some wrong things to him, probably. I mean, there are good animals too. Just the anger is always there. The mistreatment is always happening, right? So anyways, the idea here is that if you are not a trained enough person in your thoughts, you may do the same thing for the people who have abused, attacked, defeated. But the Buddhist idea is the next stanza. Same thing, I don't have to explain again. Akkochi, Avadi, Ajini, Ahasi. Same thing happened to another person. But how does that person take it? Ye chatang na upanay. That person does not validate, does not take it that way. What could be a good term for that? Personalization. If you're going to take it as a personal thing, right? If you think that I have to take it seriously in this way, I have to hit back in the same way, then you are going to. As a Buddhist, you are not going to do the same. You are not trying to defend. You are not trying to defend your wrong nature. Maybe you are trying to train your thoughts, and then you are not going to do the same thing. If you do such, then if there is any upcoming hatred, vera, what you call dosa, that dosa will tesam upasammatiya, not just specify. Upasammati. Upasammati means it is pacified, or it ends completely, right? It completely ends. That anger is not going further. All right, so we'll learn the story of these two stanzas, and then we'll go to the question. Now, the story of this stanza, two stanzas, is about one monk called Tulatissa. Tulatissa. You can see over here, his name was given as Tissateva, called Tula. Tula. What does Tula mean? Tula. T-H long U-L-A. Tula means fat. fat, F-A-T, fat. Tud. We don't bring this fat to fat Tissattera. But anyways, his name is taken as Tissattera. Who is Tissattera? His mother and King Suddhodana, they are siblings. So that means he is a cousin of the Buddha. Right? Tissa's mother and King Suddhodana, Buddha's father, they are siblings. That means Suddhodana's sister, one of the sisters is Tissa's mother. What happened to this monk? So he became a monk when he was old. Okay, he became a monk when he was old. He was very conceited because Buddha is my cousin and my uncle's son, and then he always wanted to sit down on the way how other monks come to see the Buddha. So he just sits down and then he doesn't respect other monks who are coming to respect the Buddha. So other monks think this must be a senior monk. So we have to respect him. That's why he's on the way to the Buddha. But there was one day, young monk, very young monk asked me, how many vassas do you have? Then Tissattera told him, I don't have lots of vassa. I just became a monk. Then he said, this is not proper. There are senior monks coming here and you are not respecting them. They think that you are senior than them. And then he got very, very mad. He told them, I am Buddha's cousin and I am from the Kaktiya caste. And my mother and Buddha's father, they are siblings. There are people who are making these things sometimes when they're very mad about others. You should know, my father is like that, my mother is like that. They know this guy, that guy. Don't talk to me like this. You should go and learn our history, our lineage. So he did the same thing to other monks. Then he went back to the Buddha and said, see, these monks are not talking good about me. Then the Buddha said this stanza, Akkochimang avadim. Whatever other people said, you should not come up with anger. And then you should understand where is the problem. See, Buddha never came out of the chamber and said what you are doing is wrong. He let him understand what's going on. Right? So Tissattera understood that what he was doing is bad. At the same time, when other people are saying something, they have to. Actually, another meaning of this stanza is that sometimes good people also try to tell something to us. They might criticize us. Does that happen? Sometimes the wise people might tell you, this is not a good thing, in a private way, not in public. Probably you should learn how to practice something. You are very talkative. I think that's not good. Try to keep your talking. Listen down. You always talk. You are not conscious how to stay silent, how to stay calm. Maybe I think you are complaining too much. Maybe you can think about with your practice, real practice. Maybe it's a good advice from a wise person. Like in the Karaniya Metta Sutta, how did the Buddha say? Nacha kuddang samachari, kinchiyena vinyupari, upavadi. Nacha kuddang samachari. I do not behave even a tiny, small, minor in a bad activity, which is kinchiyena vinyupare, scorned, criticized, despised by the wise people. It's good. Now, when you are with a good person, when you are with the Kalyana Mitta, you may get a lot of advices, isn't it? Remember Arahant Sariputta. He is the example of extreme humbleness. Very humble monk. Very humble. How do I say he's humble? He's a second to the Buddha. One day, a small monk came and said, Bhante, your robe is drooping, hanging onto the floor. Then he said, thank you very much for pointing that out to me. Even Arahants can make mistakes like that. Then he said, Tadahu pabbajito santo jatiya santavasi. Even if there is a monk who is 7 years old, is trying to help me, pointing out my small mistakes, I put my palms together, I accept that good thing. What about us? Who are we compared to Arhan Sariput? So we have to learn a lot from other people, but not from the people who are trying to put us down. There are people who want to spiritually good, you know, they want to feel good about their spirituality. Not from these people, the real winners. So there are two ideas. One idea is not what happened to Tissattera. This Tissattera. Now, what didn't happen to Tissattera is something that happens to many other people in society. There are many people who are mistreated by others. When that happens to us, do not rationalize anger, thinking that we have to hit back. This has to be stopped. This is a very common advice. Second is that, let's say there are people who are not trying to attack us, not trying to abuse us, not trying to put us down, trying to beat us, but they simply want to tell us that this is not a good practice for you. Maybe you can change your way how you think. Maybe you can change the way you talk. You can be a better person. That is $1 million advice. We don't get that from other people. It's like how the Buddha talked to Siha. Remember that story? I think I can finish this discussion with that story. There is a sutta about Casey and the Buddha. Casey is a horse trainer. He's a horse trainer, very famous horse trainer. He had lots of horses, very expensive horses. One day he came to see the Buddha. This guy doesn't know any Dhamma, right? Horse trainers, they are very busy with horses. And then he told the Buddha, Bhante, I like to know how you are doing things. Then he said, I'm doing well with other monks. And then he asked a question. Let me ask you a question, just to relate to you. Then Buddha said, Casey, I know you have lots of horses, very different, expensive horses. How do you train them? He said, I train them this way, that way, a couple of months and all that. What if, the Buddha asked, what if you cannot train a certain horse? We can't expect every horse is going to be listening to you, right? What if you cannot train a specific horse? Then he said, never mind. I'm going to kill him or her. It's a waste of time for me to put effort on that horse. I have lots of horses. Okay, interesting. And then he asked the same question. Bhante, I think you have lots of monks here, monks and nuns. How do you train them? He said, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, all that. What if there is one monk or nun who is not listening to you? I do the same thing like you. I'm going to kill that person. Really, I never heard Gautama is going to kill other beings. Shakyamuni Gautama. Then the Buddha said, it is not how you kill your horse. The way how I kill a monk or a nun is that I stop giving advices to them from that day onwards. And they are gone in their practice. When I stop giving advice, they don't know what to do then. This is why the teacher is very important, the teacher's advices. That means when the Buddha does not give advices to somebody, that person doesn't know where to go in his or her spiritual practice. Just by reading a text or a sutta cannot practice like that. You need the real-time advices with what is happening in your practice. That means another idea that we can understand from these two senses is maybe like what happened to Tissattera is that Tissattera was criticized by other monks that you are doing something not good. So you have to make sure that you are not repeating these things. So letting those advices come to our life to become a better person so that we have no anger. We have no anger. And there's one other Jataka story, if you could read, Tila Mutti Jataka story. Very interesting Jataka story, yeah? Tila Mutti. Tila Mutti Jataka story. In this Jataka story, very interesting, the Bodhisattva is a vendor. It's a sesame vendor, I think. Sesame vendor, you know, sesame. So the son of the king who was passing by his shop, stealing some amount of sesame. And then the vendor, Bodhisattva, sesame vendor, he punished him. Not in a bad way, he punished. But the son of the king took it as a revenge, as a bad thing, right? And then when he became the king, the first thing what he did was not to do anything in the country, ask people to bring that sesame vendor. This happened, I think, many years ago. Bring that sesame vendor, send him to the capital punishment. Then sesame vendor was telling him, dear Lord, because of I punish you at that time, you became a better person. You became the king here, right? Because of that small advice, you became like this. And then he was okay after that. That means we have to take the advices of the good people, not to take them. In today's world, we are not going to punish people, but it depends on the time. So we are supposed to get good advices from the wings, sub-policies. So today's two stanzas have to be taken in two aspects. One is that whatever bad treatment had happened to you, never try to do the same thing to those people. Try to understand that you are creating apusalas. Try to minimize those situations. If that happens to you, try to let go of those moments and then move on with your life in a better way. Second thing is that along the story of Tissapte, sometimes there may be people who may be advising to us simply because we want to get better. We need to get better out of kindness, out of compassion. Let's invite those good advices to our life so that we can become better people every day. Even Arhants, if Arhant Sariputta can learn from a 7 years old monk, what about us? We can learn a lot of things. So we will become better people. So this is the idea that we learned today. Any questions before we wrap this up? Any questions about today's two stanzas? Right? No question. That means probably it was very clear to all of you. Yes. Okay. So as a person who is on the path to understand you better and better, to become a better human being every day, and finally to enlighten, maybe awaken, it is very important to properly respond to the people who have been bad on you. I think that is very important as a Buddhist person, right? If you get really shaken by somebody's bad treatment, there will be a moment you become an un-Buddhist. Then after a couple of seconds, you will again become a good person. There are people who become bad for a second, but then become good people. But the problem is that bad 1 second, right? There may happen a lot of things. All right.
Bhante?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Bhante, this word akochi, and you said that the present tense is akosati. It's interesting that in the Malay language, we have a word kosa, K-O-S-A, and then when it is, we put the prefix perkosa, it means molest or abuse. So I think we can better understand that.
Yeah,
And
I
also,
think, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bhante. And also, Bhante, you mentioned about the elephant's memory is so long term. Do you have a story like offhand?
I think there are stories, not in my back of my head now. I know a true story, somebody's real story, because there was one man who hit one elephant 6 years ago. And he went to the same, in Sri Lanka, same place, but elephant was trying to find him in those 6 years. And then he saw him out of, in a big crowd. I think there were almost like 100 people. He didn't do any harm to other people. He's trying to take him out of the crowd. Yes. So he was hiding in a place and he smashed all the houses. Yes. So that's one thing. And also another story in the Sri Lankan history, Dutta Gamini, who made the Mahatupa in Sri Lanka, the big pagoda. The big pagoda, when you come to Sri Lanka, you go to that, respecting that pagoda. One of those royal forces had a elephant called, I think, Kandula. It is said that one person harmed him, so he kept a big stone in one of his jaws to hit him for 10 years. So elephants are really taking revenge, and not even taking revenge. They have a good memory to take revenge for many years. So, yeah.
Okay,
I'll be
Bhante, thank you so
careful.
much.
Okay.
Yeah, I will check it out in the internet about this elephant story. The third thing I want to ask is that, Bhante, just now you mentioned about happiness comes not from victory or loss, and you recited this Pali stanza of verse. In your free time, can you write in our chat group
Yes,
the verse?
yes.
Yeah. Something
Dhammapada
like
stanza.
Jayan Verang, something like that. Yeah.
True happiness comes not from victory, not from the loss. It is coming from a medium state called upekha. I mean, you still have to be a part of a competition, still have to be a part of a game probably, but your aim is to be in the middle, right? Yes. Okay, I will write that down in the chat, the stanza and the number. All right, so today, let's reflect upon all the good karmas which we've been doing so far. May all the good karmas which we've been making so far today by learning the third, fourth stanzas of the Dhammapada be transferred to the departed ones. May departed ones be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyate nang huntu sukita huntu nyateyo. Idam me nyate nang huntu sukita huntu nyateyo. Idam me nyate nang huntu sukita huntu nyateyo. Also, may Deva Naga Mahitika share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you. Good health, quality of life, and prosperity. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampradang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi Sambatang punya sampradang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampradang sabbe satta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadanti. Also, maybe be in the company of Kalyana Mitras till we attain the Nibbana. Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimba pattiya. Before I wrap this up, I wanted to say as a disclaimer, I was not trying to demonize any animal. There are some things we can learn. There may be humans, animals, they have their different behaviors about anger, hatred. That's what we learn. Finally, may all the good karmas which we've been making today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhisse niccang baddha prachayino chattaro dhamma baddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balam Ayurarogya sampatti, Sagga sampatti mevacha, Ato nibbana sampatti, Iminati saminjato, sadhu. Right, with that, our OPRC class is over for today. We'll see you next week. Wishing you a yes. Good night.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night,
Good
Bhante.
night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much,
Sadhu,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu. Thank you so much.
Sadhu. Take care, Bhante, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night.
Bhante.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good evening. Bye-bye. Bye, Bhante.
Thank you.